Hello everyone, welcome back to another Snap stream. We have drops that I believe just went live for the high voltage, but I don't think high voltage is going to come out until the daily reset. So we have a couple hours until high voltage rolls around. And so we're probably just going to play around on ladder until that happens. Then once it comes out, we will try to push for the first Ghost Rider. I know with high voltage, it typically comes with the mission resets, so it's a little bit less grindy. You can't really force it as much, but we'll at least get our missions done and make as much progress as we can. So until then, we have a couple of different decks that I've been toying around with post-Infinite today. Then Chiefy, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great day so far. We are back with spring break. My kiddos were home. My wife ended up traveling for work, and so I was stranded on Dad Island. And then Pablo, welcome in, or Pablo, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a good one. So glad to catch you. I'm so glad that you're here. Hopefully you're having a good day, good month so far. And then welcome in P1. Hopefully you're having a fantastic one. And then Vanilla Catch, thank you so much for resubbing with your Prime for the 6th month. Very much appreciate having you here. And so I've actually been toying around with a starbrand deck that just kind of eats the downside of starbrand and allows the opponent to have the +3 in the other locations, because typically with this deck we can just kind of raw outpower them. Or Spider-Ham turns into a pig and we don't have to worry about the downside. And then Eddie on the YouTube side, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great one. Sargini, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a good one as well. We absolutely love the star brand of bacon. Kind of want to snap it. Yeah, absolutely one of the best cards I could have gotten hit. That, Cole Obsidian, Crossbones, all of which would have been just pure upside. And so with Spider-Ham, I'm thinking it's more of a tech-heavy deck. But Lizard is a bit odd. And then M2814, thank you so much for resubbing with your Prime for the 11th month. Very much appreciate having you here. Hopefully you're having a good one. So we could do Ares. We could do like a Cosmo plus a Zabu. Make sure that Pig is not going to get hit by a Shang-Chi. I may go ahead and do that. And then Angel resubbing for 12 months with your tier 1. Thank you so much for being here for 9 months and then for 12 months more. Welcome in. Hopefully everything is going well with the restaurant. So glad to see you here. And then Josie, thank you so much for the resub with your Prime as well. Long time no see indeed. Glad that you guys are here. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and do... No, we can't do a Tuma. I think we're just gonna do like Ares over to the left. It would still be 10 power as long as it hits here, which is gonna be 16. I don't know. It may not beat what they have, but we're gonna give it a shot. And so very early on, you guys launched us into a hype train. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And then Fizzy Q with the Prime for 8 months as well. Very much appreciate you. Hopefully you're having a good one. My wife said I look like you. You handsome devil. Well, mighty. As long as it's handsome, congratulations. If you think it's not so great, then I apologize. But there's been a couple people that that I've met from chat that we looked similar. Have you tried Firehair? I did try Firehair in a couple of decks, so like Clog. I did Mill, a few others like Thor Hammer, and I think it's a pretty decent card. I enjoy it. So we did win the power off. If we do 10 power here, they have to fight for all 3. And so then we could just do something like armor and hope for the best. If they have a Shang-Chi, they could potentially do Shang-Chi plus whatever here. But they have 0 to have to worry about. And then Eerie Midnight, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great one. And then Onin, I missed you guys as well. So glad to be back. What deck are you running right now? Right now, I'm just running a... It's just a Scar Starbrand deck. It's not looking to do any kind of like canceling out of Starbrand. I feel like sometimes that's just a little bit too hit and miss. And sometimes it just doesn't line up well. But with like a Scar deck, a lot of times you can just raw outpower the opponent and kind of offset Starbrand's downside. Firehair into Galactus, I did see a couple of clips on it. There were a couple that I think would be very hard to recreate, but very cool to see. And I think it's also really cool interaction. I've been playing a Surfer deck lately and crushing it. I did hear a little bit about a Firehair Surfer deck. I haven't played that one personally, but I've heard some pretty decent things. And then Fizzy Q, welcome in, Fizzy. I've missed being able to stream and create some videos. I'm glad that that you guys are here. I'm glad to be back. And then Packers, happy Friday and Drops Day to you as well. What is the best Firehair? Mill or Hawk? I've seen her triggered more than one time. Thought she was only triggered once. No, so like if she sat on Wong, then it double triggers, or in like Kamartage, it'll double trigger. So there's a couple of cool interactions with her. I haven't played a Hawk one. And so I still think it's a little bit early to know what the best Starbrand deck is. I think something relatively straightforward or simple is usually probably going to be best with her. Something where like when it triggers, it's great, but it can hold its own even if you don't necessarily have her on the board. Do you think Sam is replaceable now in this deck with the shield nerf? Probably. It's a decent early tempo grab, which sometimes you need to be able to drop your armor or your Cosmo, but I wouldn't say it's absolutely required. And then Joe, welcome in. I've been doing well. Just so last week was spring break for the kiddos, and so both of them were at home. My wife had a last minute travel trip, and so it was just me with the kids navigating that, and so I wasn't able to really focus down and create any kind of content. But we are back now. I feel Cole Obsidian is the one to be replaced here. Yeah, you could replace Cole Obsidian now that we have the captain or the Sam Wilson nerf. You could. I mean, he does decently still, but I could see it. So I think we want to fill up the left lane first, and then we can use Aunt May's to shift over into Spider Island. An angel, perfect. So glad to have you here. So we're going to be able to do Scar Juggernaut. They're not going to be able to get anything into Spider Island unless we pushed it there. So maybe we don't need a Juggernaut play. We just need something to shift over in Spider Island. So we'll see. And then Sunny Day JJ, thank you so much for the Prime resub for 9 months. And then username Jazz23 with the resub with your Prime for 4 months as well. Very much appreciate having you here. I like Firehair with the Tuma. He feels like an engine. Oh, Atuma being able to like destroy the cards. I think that could be pretty interesting. I haven't tried it, but it could definitely be interesting. So if we did Scar shift over, Cosmo locked in here, I think we can lock in Spider Island and potentially stop like a MODOK or whatever else they play. I guess the problem is this lane may scale too much. I'm not going to snap it. We're just going to let it play out. And then Prominence Zero, thank you so much for the resub for 2 months. Very much appreciate having you here. You said Hawk Firehair is currently your favorite brew. I'll have to try it out. Sadly, I have to say Mill ain't it. Yeah, Mill didn't feel great. Clutter felt okay. Being able to re-trigger Viper, re-trigger... it did scale too much. Be able to re-trigger Viper, re-trigger Debris, sometimes re-trigger... like the Hood felt pretty decent.
Hey, welcome. It took you long enough.
And then Sugata, thank you so much for the Prime sub for 4 months. And then a Chiefy16 with the Prime as well. You guys are going absolutely crazy with the Prime subs. I appreciate you guys. We weren't able to win that one. They scaled a little bit too much in the left with MODOK over there. Had we switched it and left Scar in the right lane and let Cosmo shift over mid, I think we would have been able to have it. And then OGN, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a good day so far. Glad that you were able to jump in and make it. Oh, by the way, when we had the hot location for Firehair, I made a Nimrod Shuri brew with Galactus. Wow, you climbed up to 2K. What did you start from? All right, let's go ahead and throw our Vibranium out. No need to go crazy with Firehair. Yeah, just the Hood for the extra demon. Yeah, especially if you have Misery. And so using Hood, hitting Hood with Misery and then Firehair triggers, you now have 3 demons, which can be pretty versatile. And then Soury, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great one. And then Devoot on the YouTube side, welcome in. I am indeed back. Let's go Starbrand left in case we end up drawing Ares. Ares may be able to double trigger and Kamartage and kind of single-handedly win that one. I know I started the season at 7,000 SP and currently sitting at, wow, that's a huge climb, Angel. I actually just hit Infinite last week. Like I wasn't actively playing. I missed most of the weekly missions for last week. I was worn out from chasing the kids all day. And so I didn't even log in for the missions. And so Tuesday before reset, I actually grinded out pretty much most of the Infinite climb. I started writing a eulogy because I was worried. Calibrex, welcome in. Nope, everything is fine. Just ended up with spring break week. It was I was very, very tapped for time. And so with Magic, we kind of have to look out for their big combo plays, but I think Juggernaut or Cosmo could interrupt them enough that whatever they're running, it could be a negative deck that just hasn't hit their combo as well. Firehair triggers as many times as you kill stuff. Yeah. So if you kill 2 things, it's gonna trigger 2 times. It's a very fun card for sure. Sometimes it takes a little bit of like setup to make sure that it triggers, but it can be really, really nice when it pays off. I think I'm gonna go Iron Patriot Cosmo. We'll set the Cosmo into mid. Then Iron Patriot will get us 2 cards. I didn't want to do Cosmo right because of Atuma. Atuma could end up destroying Cosmo unless we had like an armor to go alongside it. And so an armor here would be pretty cool. Okay. So they could be looking to do an Arnhem Zolo, which we blocked that. They could be looking to destroy this Nimrod, which Arrow seems kind of interesting. Kind of like the Arrow play. And then Chill Pill, yeah, especially with the drops, I wanted to make sure that we were on and streaming. High Voltage will come out in about an hour, 40 minutes, and so we'll jump on that whenever it does go live. Is Cole still worth it with the shield? I haven't noticed a huge issue. It could probably be optimized for something else, but I haven't had a big problem with it. So it's not going to trigger twice, but at least they still got it once. Now they have priority. Them having priority is a little scary. Just try something like this. Try to split it between the 3. They have to compete for all 3. Yeah, High Voltage is returning today, and with it is coming the first Ghost Rider, which I think is... I'm kind of excited to try a couple of, like, sneaky things with it. And so you discard the lowest power card from your hand, and you remove that card's power. So immediately you think things like Iron Man. But I'm thinking... what does it do with, like, Hobgoblin? Does it add that 8 power? Because if so, then you have a potential negative rocket that you can resummon, as well as a 2, 13? Oh, they said it won't? -0. Ah, well, even still, I think there are some really interesting interactions. So, like, you could discard Gore. You can discard the Iron Man and not have the negative downside. You still get a pretty decent body at 2/5. And then maybe you use regular Ghost Rider alongside it. TLSG on the clock grind. Yeah, that's where my mind went immediately. And then Carne, welcome in. Thank you so much for resubbing for 3 months at tier 1. Hey TLSG, me and Ribbit came to say hello and welcome back. Welcome in, Carne. Hopefully you're having a fantastic one. Glad to see you around. It's a card that will be absurd with Khonshu. Very true. And then Cranky Pancake, thank you so much for the Prime sub as well. You guys are going absolutely nuts with them. I hope that you're having a great week so far, and glad to have you here. And then Boosty, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great day. Let's go ahead and throw our Sam Wilson. We can play maybe Armor Zabu next turn to get a bigger discount. Yeah, you could also do Luke Cage to like offset the affliction from it. So we have another discard deck. What if we did Cosmo mid? We're going to pull something of theirs. Maybe we pull a big discard card. And then if not, we can set up for a potential Juggernaut later to try to push over into the Cosmo lane. Yeah, I think Gore or like Iron Man, I think are the simpler, easy ones that come to mind for sure. So we got rid of their swarm. They have a backup Morbius. I don't think we should have any issues with Ares. Yeah, Swarm is a good pull. Did you see the Gore bundle got added? No, I didn't. Don't think that's a coincidence. Yeah. I'm starting to think it very rarely is a coincidence. So like whenever there's a slight buff to a card and then we see a bundle of it like the next day. So double Morbius. I think we're going to be fine in Otto's lab. And so I almost want to just like high focus maybe left lane. If we can find a Juggernaut, even better. 6,500 Gore bundle. Does it come with a good amount of like resources as well? Oh, it costs 50 now? Unfortunate. So what all did they... so Scorn is one, and then I guess it would have to be Apocalypse as well, right? Scorn, Apocalypse, whatever they top deck. I think by shifting the shield here, we win this one, we can pressure this one, so if they flip left, we win the other two. Well, they had one other card that remained. So they discarded their hand with MODOK, and they had two cards in hand. One we saw with Scorn. The other one had to be one of the self-generating cards. So I think Apocalypse is our only option, right? That's my only issue with the MODOK fast forward is you can't really tell what kind of discard it is anymore. And then Club Beats, welcome in. You said the beard makes you look old. It may just be my old age that makes me look old. Or the kids. The kids could be could be part of it as well. But I do need to shave. Yeah. There, especially since it should show. You really shouldn't have to guess what they have left. You're still 20 since 20, maybe? Well, I mean 15, I think. I'm still 20 since 15 years ago or so. Let's try and fit Iron Patriot left. If it sticks, then we have a pretty good chance of getting the discount. And then Cyril Coda just before that, the old, just before the old comment said, "So glad the beard is back. It suits you well." I get both ends of the spectrum. Sometimes I think it makes me look a little homely, and so I end up like shaving it just to like clean up a bit. Oh no! What are we doing? I threw the discount on Iron Patriot. Whoops. Well. Ooh, they lost their starbrand. Good for us. But we don't get a discounted claw, which is not as good for us. Do Cosmo go ahead and throw a Zabu? Who wants a one-cost claw anyways? One cost, what is that, 11 power? Oh, come back to it in 5 years. If we're still here in 5 years, I hope that you do remember it. I think we need to start trying to stack into Danger Room. Oh, I can't throw it over there. Because they're going to last turn move the Rocket Raccoon over. And they're just going to leave Madripoor alone. Big. If I remember that, you owe me a drink. Absolutely. If you remember that, I absolutely owe you a drink. So, I mean... I think we just go big. Scar and Atuma. Cosmo to Juggernaut mid. we could Juggernaut mid, yeah. Push the Surfer over to the right. Because I assume they move the Rocket to the left. No, but they do play to the left. We are evil, evil people. I hope it's not Shang-Chi. It could be. But it's a Surfer deck, so I think it's a 3... Oh, Juggernaut. And then Surfer. But we canceled the Surfer. You guys are truly evil people. You got... Chat won that one. I wasn't thinking of being as evil as that. Learn from the master. I appreciate you guys looking out. And Cornflake, welcome in. Ooh, make sure I do have alliance missions. I'm slacking a little bit. You're still doing content creation full time? I am in an indirect capacity. Like I don't have a full-time day job, but it's not necessarily that I'm doing 40 hours a stream for that full-time role. I've been very fortunate with a few of the sponsorships and just like the support through the engagement with those, that I've been able to kind of focus on doing streams whenever I can make sure that I have pretty good viewership, which helps drive like those sponsorships and make sure that those can help kind of carry over through like the lulls or the downtime. Did you see High Voltage Grind? Is it still in your title? Yeah, I thought it was gonna. For some reason, I thought it was gonna launch when the drops did. But it's probably gonna be over at the reset. And so it'll be an hour and a half. I'll update it. I'll update it here in a second. Yesterday, another streamer said he makes 90% of his money out of ads on drop days. Yeah. So drop days, especially with the like huge viewership, makes up a massive portion. And then if you kind of take that and look at sponsorships as like they look at your average number of viewers or your average concurrent viewers, if you have a few fewer streams, and so there's a bigger weight on those high viewer days, then like the amounts that they can offer are higher, and so it kind of helps out by doing a few less streams here and there rather than trying to grind it for 40. At least while the game is in like a maintenance state instead of a growing state. Final Fantasy, thank you so much. Welcome in. Hopefully you're having a good one. So we can do one coal obsidian to the right, but that's going to be about it. So I'm going to start with a Tuma mid. We're going to need, I think, pretty big numbers mid to overpower it. And they may push to compete with right with like a Gilgamesh. How effective is starbrand in the deck versus arrow? So starbrand helps you discount Scar, so you can do like a Scar Juggernaut, Star Cosmo last turn, which has been fairly effective. I've been enjoying it. I wouldn't say like if you don't have him to go out and buy him, but he's been decent. At the very least, it's been a pretty decent include in the deck. Don't think I'm reaching infinite this season. I refuse to climb with anything other than mill, and it's not doing so well. Yeah, with all the Agamottos and Arsham, that is for sure. If they have anything that enhances this lane, we could be in trouble. We should be able to win the Ares fight, and actually, Cosmo's not going to survive mid. It's just going to be, what, 22? 1, 2, 3, 4, if they have Blue Marvel. Not bad. So I'm going to throw Juggernaut left. If this was pre-shield nerf, we'd be able to do Call Obsidian, but... yeah, if there were more opportunities for the drops, I think it would be definitely... they pushed high enough with the Mockingbird. We did tie mid, but with the Tuma knocking out Cosmo, we had to push for the tie. We weren't able to win the tiebreaker. And then Waterboy, welcome in. Yeah, if there were like a few more drops in a month, or just things that generated excitement. So I think right now the game is in more of a maintenance state because it's been out for a while. There's been kind of a lull in like big long-term changes. And so it's not, I don't think it gets as much buzz on like a day-to-day basis. I think Twitch drops holds a lot more weight than it did a few months ago or a year ago. Not to say that you can't play it and stream it every day and do decently. It's just there are some times where I'll log on, and especially if I'm keeping odd hours and I'm up late, where there's like 20 viewers in the category, which used to never happen. So next up we have rank 131 Wino. Whatever they're running, they have Misery, so it could be a Clutter. Could also be like a Torres, a low one drop semi-bounce deck as well. But with Iron Patriot and Starbrand, we shouldn't have any major issues winning the Iron Patriot lane. Yeah, Aegon, I agree. I think there's just, there hasn't been meaningful big changes that has drawn or attracted new attention. And so I think with that, there's just less viewers in general, so it's much more maintenance rather than growing. I haven't touched the game in 2 weeks. Yeah, and I go through weeks like that. So the entire last week, I didn't log on to do the missions or anything. I just didn't feel the need to. Or I guess the desire to, more accurately. Whereas before, I would wake up and and want to play something or want to try something new. It just feels like and it may be a testament to kind of how good they've got at balancing. So before, I would be really excited for over the air and patch days because it would feel like it really shook up the game in like major ways. Now, for the most part, it's like 1 point here, 1 point there, but nothing that really derails much. And so it doesn't really feel like it brings any new decks to light. So it just kind of feels like we recycle the same things quite often. I guess we do Coal Obsidian. We're looking for Scar, Juggernaut, potentially Cosmo, but Starbrand right because oh, I guess we could have Starbranded to the right since Galactus was bad. But by getting the rock, it enabled our Coal Obsidian. So we would need at least 12 here. We could do with... maybe not that. That's exactly going to be... no, it's 14. So we would win right off of this. And then they'd have to flip the other two. It's been 2+ years of playing the same game day after day. Yeah. Yep. I didn't know if it was just me and feeling burnout, but I'm typically not as excited about the new cards. Whereas before, I would be really interested, and I'd have like 4 or 5 decks that I wanted to try out like immediately after a card came out. I thought it could just be a little bit of burnout and just having played for so long that had me feeling that way. But I think it's also a bit of a testament to most of the time they're releasing relatively balanced cards. And so it's not just going to come out and be overly broken for the most part. I think season pass cards are typically lingering a little bit more towards the like strongest of the month. And the other ones are just kind of additional flair here and there. And then it takes some time for it to kind of really rise to the top if it's a really good contender. Yeah, I like Firehawk. But I also don't know that it's incredibly or insanely strong. I think it's a good enough card. But I don't think it breaks any decks wide open yet. It could be like a Moonstone where we don't really see the true strength until a little bit later whenever either other supporting cards or other supporting things come out. So if we can win mid, we get a cheap Devil Dino. But I don't know that 3 extra power here is going to do it. I tried a Loki Thanos deck. That way you could potentially have the stones to be able to get additional draws from your Loki. It felt okay, but not amazing. Loki is good at in Arsham again. Yeah, I agree. I personally don't really find Arsham fun to play. I know that some people absolutely love it. I haven't caught on to that love train, so I haven't tried Loki in Arsham. Are you still a full-time content creator? I am a full-time content creator. It's just in a very weird capacity. So before content creation, I used to be a data analyst. And so I'm always looking at like numbers and trends and trying to make sure that what I'm doing is as efficient as possible. And so with the state of the game right now, it's made more sense to create less content and really focus my attention on the content during like drop times, because that's gonna just garner more attention and more like viewership, and then that leverages into like the sponsorship piece, which I'm able to use to kind of supplement the rest of the month's money that I would need to make to hold me over. So I think with Devil Dino, there's a good chance that whenever we end the game, it's going to be stronger than... I guess if we play this, it goes down to 11, right? No, it's still 13. I think for me, Starbrand was kind of the more boring of the newer releases. But outside of that, I think Firehair and a couple of the other cards have been really cool from a like design perspective. To be able to kind of work within. We don't have priority, so we can't stop the Surfer. We really don't have a good enough output anywhere to stop them, so give them that one. Is Falcon necessary in Firehawk? I wouldn't say so. So there was a clutter Firehair. Is it Firehair or Firehawk? Welcome in, Calibrex. We need more explanation videos from TLSG. I've sat down to record a couple of times. It's just, I don't know. Every time I go on YouTube, the things that perform well are the really exaggerated, this is insane, 900% win rate. And I feel kind of icky doing that. And I want to create content that like I'm enjoying, but that's not the type of content that always performs well. I think this is the one I was playing the other day. It's, oh, so Firehair and Firehawk. So Firehawk, yeah. Chase, welcome back in. Thank you so much for the Prime resub for 9 months. Been saving this Prime sub. Thank you so much for thinking of me and waiting until we're back on. That's admirable, but also hit me with that 900% win rate list. I mean, whenever I find it. Definitely throw it down. I was worried that I was going to miss the long time between streams guy. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong with that. It has been a while. Realistic common guy deck reviews are why I watch TLSG videos. Also the low-key toxic decks. I don't know why I love toxic decks so much, but I absolutely do. They were by far my favorite decks to run. So I think he's gonna try to hit this with like a Misery. And it could be that he has Firehair that he throws down somewhere else. I'm gonna see if maybe we can. I was hoping we could clutter him up before he had a chance to destroy him. I haven't found a Firehair Ajax deck that I really like resonated with yet. There's always time. I think we're gonna do something like this. Hope that he doesn't have a way to destroy his right lane, and it gets cluttered up by Cassandra Nova. He could also be running Killmonger, right? I guess if he was, he wouldn't be dropping Demon. Green Goblin is a Firehair counter. I mean, it's not a foolproof because they could still like destroy the Green Goblin. But if they do, then they send Firehair over, and it's very funny to see. All right, so a Debris here fills them up mid, and we have 2 turns to overcome whatever power they have. I don't want to snap it because there is a chance that he does have like a Killmonger, but otherwise he's in a real tough spot. Whoa, the official Nissan Altima. Welcome in. I'm sorry you didn't get notified that I went live. But I am glad that you made it. We could go like Misery. That would fill up mid though. So I'm just going to go Red Hulk and then we'll overpower this one with like a Misery, Titania, something. Ooh, we do get lucky that we dodged the Annihilus cluttering our right lane. But the left lane is tricky because we can't overpower this. So if he has a way to overshadow 6 power, then we're definitely out of luck. No, he probably takes this one, but since it's only 1 extra cube, I'm gonna go ahead and send it. Ooh, the Cersei gamble. It does pay off. And then Zahn, welcome in. It could have been Cannonball, but with all of the other high-power things that he already had, or high-cost things, Cannonball feels like it'd be a tough fit. But Cersei was a good one to offset. I mean, it complements the Annihilus. I'm assuming there was a Sentry somewhere in his deck as well. Misery on Goblin does not send Firehair. You have to destroy the Goblin on your side for her to go. Ooh, so Misery pushes it back over, but like a Carnage or something would send it over. Frank Puddle, that was weird watching it from the other stream. I was not expecting Cersei either. It makes sense with the Annihilus, but... And then Poppy, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great one. And then OCD, you said I played against you earlier and lost 8 cubes due to a misclicking card. No! Who do I talk to in your office in order to get a refund? Well, you've come to the right place. Next time we match, you have to enter in the secret code, and I'll refund you your 8 cubes. What deck were you running? I probably will remember it off of what deck you were using, because I only played a handful of games earlier today. Did you take a vacation? I feel like I haven't seen you. Yeah, so it's been a couple of weeks since I've done a stream. I had my kids home all week for spring break, and my wife had a last minute business trip that came up. And so it was just me and the kids, and it felt like I was in the jungle fighting for my life. But I did end up taking off the week because I just did not have it in me to do anything else during that time. We may want to send heavy in the left lane if we can stop them from, if we can clutter this lane up. And so I'm just going to put basic into mid. We do have the counter for it. I guess, if we do this, if they played 1 card, then Titania is not going to go over. If they don't play any, then we send both, and they're locked into left. Firehair worth the 4 keys. If you're sitting on 12, I think Firehair is an interesting enough card that we could get some long-term value. It's also one of those that takes a specific setup, so it could be one that may sometimes just be more trouble than it's worth. The funniest Firehair counters when you can get the Misery to proc on... No! Oh, wait. Yeah, that's gonna... That's not gonna send their Firehair over, is it? Good Misery. Wait, COD is having viewer rewards? They are in a much better spot than we are. So it is the big hawk left. I don't think we win this one. I think they just have too much flexibility. What is it that COD is doing for their viewer rewards? And then official Nissan Altima. Thank you so much for resubbing for 1 month at tier 1. Very much appreciate you. We can't quite win left. I didn't think about the negative cards. Otherwise, we could have pushed for it with like Hawk and then have just a little bit extra over there. But as it is, we can't quite beat the 14 that we need. It's 4-day viewer rewards. Thing you get a weapon blueprint on Sunday. Ooh, and you have to watch like so much time each day. I haven't followed COD too closely in several years, but there was once upon a time where that was my like primary or main game. Definitely should have retreated, seeing how many demons they had in hand. We had no business staying for that one. Let me see. I think I want to try a different deck. We have about another hour before high voltage drops. There were a couple other Firehair decks that looked interesting, but I haven't tried out yet. Let's see. There is the Hawk one. That one has quite a few games. This one I thought was kind of interesting. It's a little bit different. I think it's probably close to what we just ran up against. That runs it runs White Tiger alongside of it, which I think is kind of a sneaky last turn potential misery hit. Ooh, and then have you played Bullseye? That's my favorite deck. I have played Bullseye some, and I think it is very, very strong. Also, whatever you switch to, Pixel and Baku. All right, we'll switch to Pixel and Baku right after this game. Let's go Iron Patriot. I haven't had the most wins, but I've had a ton of fun playing weird combos with Firehair. Yeah, Firehair creates some really interesting like deck building challenges that I think are really interesting to see. Or interesting to tackle, or so. I think Iceman, Victoria hand. We do what, like Frigga, Devil Dino next turn? Frigga we can play into the Black Vortex. As long as we win Wakanda, that is. Have you seen the controversy surrounding the pixel variants? I saw a post from, it was in Baku, I think, specifically, where there was an artist that, it wasn't a pixel drawing, but there was an artist that said it was like their picture replicated, just in pixel form. But I haven't followed any closer than that. I kind of think I want to Frigga in Black Vortex and leave Hood. That leaves us the option to hit it with Misery in mid. I mean, to be fair, Sleeper, the picture that I saw, the two images were almost like color scheme, background was almost identical to each other. And so I could see where where the complaint came from. But yeah, so there are some times where people just like to complain. I don't know if this was one of those situations or not, though. And then hydrate from Uchiha God. I appreciate the reminder. Ooh, you said there's a whole thread that has all the variants and where they've been traced or referenced from. If they're being like traced or referenced and credit is not being given, I'd be upset too, as an artist. I have not seen the Wiccan variant. Unfortunate, we lost our Agatha. And then Mika, you said, as a free-to-play player, is the new Spotlight good? I'd say not necessarily. Like, I think the Spotlight is okay. Brings it to 17. Then they could pretty easily overpower it. We could also try to do Demon Victoria Hand, which is going to be 15. But theirs is going to grow by 3. Ooh, big null. Depending on what your collection is, Mika, I think Firehair is a fun card, but I don't know how insanely effective it is. Like, that's just the gut feeling that I get from it. I'm actually I'll pull up the card real fast in like the different tiers, see how it's performing. Hold on. I'll pull it up on screen. All right, so right now this is top 10% infinite. If we're looking for Firehair, I feel like she's going to be maybe a C, B. So her win rate right now is a 47%. Like, of course, there's a grace period. This is also top 10% infinite. But if we open that up more, 47%, and over all ranks, which typically is like more bots, you get some inflated metrics, it's still just a flat 50. And so there's a chance that somebody cracks a deck that is just really, really good with Firehair, but like the stats don't really support it being that great. And so I think unless you have most of your other pieces and you're just looking for a card that's kind of different to build around, and you're looking for something a little bit different, just know that it's not necessarily going to be the strongest whenever you pick it up. And then Pablo, I'm gonna patch through your message. Firehair almost feels on par with something like Collector. Or I feel like once players figure out Firehair. I feel like with Firehair, it's one of those that over time might get really, really good. But at least with what we have right now or what we've seen built, it's sometimes really good, but a lot of times kind of inconsistent to get that set up. But it's kind of like Moonstone, where I think there's a lot of potential with her. Actually, I'm curious what Moonstone's stats are. It's probably relatively low. But she's a card that, when it pops off or when it has the right resources, does very, very good. And so Moonstone is around a 50% win rate as well. It gets a little higher the higher in rank that you go. And then if you open it up to all, it's a 53% win rate. But it's one of those cards that has a lot of potential. As other things come out, I think Moonstone gets better. So as we have more cards that are ongoing that are below 4 cost, she gets more and more resources to kind of dip into and utilize. So we can get a lot of White Tiger triggers, which I think is going to be kind of interesting. We can do a Firehair. Next turn, we can drop White Tiger. White Tiger into Misery. It's kind of interesting to see. Because then it's going to trigger 3 White Tigers, which I think might be surprising enough that maybe we can sneak away a win somewhere. We could, I guess, re-triggering Hood won't do us much good. But if we can get Victoria Hand, we can do Victoria Hand alongside the Misery. Oh, thank you so much, Nissan. And then Rush Limbaugh. Thank you so much for the resub with Prime for 9 months. Cool looking deck. It's one of those that it has some surprising pieces that can sometimes push wins, but I think it has the same issues or drawbacks as other Firehair decks that sometimes it's just not quite enough. We'll see though. Ooh, we can get rid of Iceman, which is good. And we win the vault, which is also good. I think we're okay. We re-trigger White Tiger. We get rid of Iceman. Firehair is going to trigger the White Tiger 1 additional time. And I don't want to do Hood because I don't want them to merge into a symbiote. So I'm just going to do Hawkeye to the right. And then Santori San, it's nice to be back. Welcome in. I'm glad you could jump in and join us. Try my deck. Hood, Korg, Nico, Firehair, Iron Patriot, Victoria, Nova, Killmonger, Rocket Groot, Shang, Misery, Hawk. I think that's another one that I've been seeing float around that should be different. Performing decently. Let's see. Oh no, the second White Tiger. We should have not. Oh man, we should have not. Should have not played the other one here, so that this middle lane had. I guess it went here. It was just a 50-50 for the Firehair trigger. Oh well. I've also seen a Luna Snow Hawk kind of destroy-ish deck that's been floating around that I think is interesting. I've seen some Galactus, like Shuri, Nimrod stuff, which is also kind of funny to see. And it has decent stats for what it is. I think as long as it's a surprise factor. I've seen some like Moon Girl Death double down stuff. Some Thor Hammer, Miss Marvel type stuff, and they all look decent. Then Georgie, welcome in. Let's go ahead and add on M'Baku. Also, people think Moonstone is a mini Onslaught, but she doesn't double ongoing. She gets them herself. Yeah. And so on yours with the Rocket and Groot, I'll give it a shot for a couple of turns. There's a few different Firehair decks that I've wanted to try out. And so on this one, let me get one that's at least somewhat close. It's the other Hawk deck that I've been seeing float around with it. But yours doesn't have Luna Snow. I don't think yours has the high end. The Hawk is the high end. And then the counter of like Shang-Chi. So Hood, Korg, we have Nico, Firehair, Iron Patriot. No Red Guardian. So then we can add the rest. to Victoria. It's Cassandra Nova, right? Are you running into a lot of Arsham? Is that why you have Cassandra? And before we jump into a game, I almost forgot. Because I played Conquest. Yep, that makes sense. Because Conquest is very heavily leaned towards Arsham. Wait, did you say whatever you do, don't do Pixel and Baku? Or did you say do Pixel and Baku? Hold on. Oh, whatever you switch to Pixel and Baku, please. Okay. Perfect. I wanted to make sure that I didn't switch to the one thing that you asked me not to. Firehair, Sage, Misery, Phoenix Force with Zola. Whoa, interesting. I feel like that would be tough to pin down, maybe. But it's an interesting idea. I think it'd be tough to know like a good line. So I feel like the games that I would lose, it'd be because I misplayed, which are always kind of tough to play in the, at least for me, play long term. We'll send them a couple of rocks. I have relatively low to the ground Firehair Victoria hand deck that was working, but Kate was too much hand clog. I could see Kate being too much hand clog sometimes for sure. And then Drake, thanks so much for resubbing for 8 months at tier 1. Welcome back for 8 months. Is High Voltage back? It is in an hour. Hold on, I probably need to change that message. It will be back in an hour from now. I'm gonna go ahead and re-trigger Misery here. We'll be able to offset the Dakin if we lose priority. Somehow he always plays Clog. Somehow. Even when we're not running Clog, we're running Clog. We're going to do something like this. What's the high voltage cards? First Ghost Rider, which actually sounds kind of interesting, especially with Khonshu releasing. And so for anyone that hasn't seen what that card does, it's a 2/5 that discards the lowest power card from your hand, and then you deduct that much power from the card. And so you can offset that by either having negative or 0 power things, or having a loot cage, both of which I think will be pretty good. All right, so they did double up on their Dakin, which is beautiful. We can destroy here. And I think I'm gonna go Ghost Rider left. I don't know. Ghost Rider to the right might be more the play, just because of their spacing restrictions here.
Power must be controlled.
With the Scorn, huge. And then Ghost Rider left would have forced a tie. We would have won the point differential, but Ghost Rider right was definitely the play. And then Sui Bro, welcome back in. Hopefully you're having a good one. I went on a little bit of a hiatus. I had both of my kiddos home for spring break, and then my wife had an impromptu, it was a last minute business trip that she had to fly to for the week. And so it was just me in the jungle with the kids. And so it was very, very difficult to have any spare time, let alone create content or stream. And so I took that week off, and then before that, it was just a little bit of a downtime. But we are back. Let me change this title real fast. I've been meaning to do that. What rank did you start at when you hit Infinite? I started right around 500, so I think it was like 550. I haven't played a whole lot post Infinite. It was very hectic. It was very draining. Because one is 4, and so she's still at that age where she needs a lot of attention. But she's also starting to be a little bit independent, and so it was a balancing act of like being nearby but not being so close that it was too much in her space. And then my oldest is a teenager, and so he was at home, and just making sure he had enough snacks and food was, I think, a big enough challenge in and of itself. Let's go ahead and do Firehair. We're gonna be able to Killmonger or Misery the Korg to add a bunch of clutter their way. Okay, the Stegron Slap's not awful. Cassandra Nova coming down, also pretty good. And then Crygen. I'm doing well, Cry. Hopefully you're doing well as well. So if we threw Iron Patriot, we could do like Nico, Iron Patriot. Hit this lane with Misery afterwards. Firehair should double up, right? We could also potentially just Killmonger mid if we needed to. I used Firehair, I think, in one Thanos shell, and it felt okay, especially if you got the right pieces. I just felt like I didn't get the right pieces enough. I've been trying to cook with Khonshu, and Black Panther seems to have some synergy. I think it could. My biggest reservation is that anytime I've ever been in a position where I thought Black Panther would be a good fit, he's so strong that he becomes a very big target for Shang-Chi. So it's a card that's very unlikely to become so strong that because if it performs too well, then it's going to have hard, big counters that are sitting ready to take it down. In like the Shang-Chi, we'll see an uptick in Shang-Chi play. But as a surprise factor, it may be one that we're able to see enough that it performs well enough. We could always go Hawk. We could do Misery here. Destroy this Cassandra Nova in hopes to get Firehair big enough in the right lane. Could potentially be. Nico double doesn't work. It should. I would imagine it should, but last high voltage I just played Spectrum because it gets to play Cosmo Mystique for all the Wong Gambit stuff. Yeah. Yep, I think either a deck that naturally wants to use Cosmo, Juggernaut, or like intentionally choosing those is the way to go more often than not. We don't think they Heimdall shift, do we? Might. It's a full-on Scream deck. They could have, what, a Magneto? Pull Cassandra Nova away from here. The right lane still becomes really, really tough. If it is Magneto, they could also have Cannonball, right? If it is Magneto, then this should give us enough power in right. And then them pulling our Cassandra either left or maybe mid would be fine. I think this is what we're going to try. Not Magneto. Taskmaster. Not what I was expecting at all. We don't have a we don't have a shot. Woof. Rough. Magneto was the big one on my mind as well, but that was not the case. Had we just played left, we could have won. Their play right lost with just pulling our Cassandra Firehair. Do we know what card we're getting? We're getting the first Ghost Rider as a reward, which should be a good discard card to utilize. And then Packers for Life with the emote only chat. We'll launch into it for a couple minutes, and we'll be right back. Sorry, I got distracted. I found an unban. I found the spot I would go to look at unban requests, which it was from a while back. All right, let's go double Firehair. No. Can't. Gotta wait. And then Nightshade, missed you these past days. I hope everything's good. Everything is good on my side so far. Hopefully everything is going well on yours as well. I would rather keep the Rocket and Groot, but we're gonna go ahead and send it. I feel that my son is terrorizing my wife, who works from home right now because he's on spring break. Yeah, with me having my kids having spring break last week, it was rough. Like I couldn't get anything done. Do we ever want double Victoria Hand? I don't know. We could do double Firehair, but right now we don't have big pieces that we're going to be able to re-trigger. Unless we get like a Demon or a Hood or Korg. We could use that alongside Killmonger, so maybe. Big super giant. Well, not what we're needing. They have priority, so they'll have priority going into the final turn. And so an Alioth left could completely shut us down. Oh no. Well, Hawk is dead. He could have had a safe Hawk. Oh no. Well. This one is a loss. I mean, I guess we win mid, right? Even without the Hawk. But winning the right is doubtful. Let's get out of here. All right, let's free you guys from the emote only chat. I feel like that was very winnable if we just let Hawk duplicate itself. Welcome back, guys. Right, there was. I think we're gonna jump away from Firehair for a minute. I'm just gonna go with a bit more of a deck designed to hopefully be able to pick up some wins. I'll keep the deck built, and I'm gonna switch back to the M'Baku avatar as well. That won't go away yet. Official news. I will not be silenced. I mean, we could do Bullseye, but I think Bullseye is a very straightforward deck. Kind of like Destroy at this point, where there's not a whole lot of variation. So like, it kind of is what it is. First Ghost Rider, probably a Helicard. I think it could be a Helicard. It could also be a Khonshu card whenever Khonshu releases on Tuesday. Tuesday, right? We have either Sam Wilson or Iron Patriot. I think I'm going to go Iron Patriot. Try and force a win with either Gladiator or Rocket Raccoon. For me, discard feels a lot like Gilgamesh, like a Gilgamesh Zoo. It's strong. It's good. Same thing with like a Doom 2099 deck. They're good, they're very strong, but not always. I guess there's not a lot of, I guess, skill expression. It's very almost linear in like how it's played out. So no discount on Null, unfortunately. Go ahead and play Galacta so that we can buff the left lane. We could also Legion Danger him if we really wanted to. Just turn it into a little bit more of a gamble. Either that, or we could take it away by moving Rocket and playing it here. Save Legion for last turn. Legion instead of Goliath last turn. Do that. In which case we can do Gladiator Sam Wilson. That keeps some of our cards in Strange Academy. We can move Rocket into Danger Room last turn if we need to. Like if it shifts over to the left. Mobius countered. Yeah, Mobius hits discard pretty heavily, and I've been seeing a little bit more Mobius make its way, especially with things like Scar, Iron Patriot, discard being as prevalent as they have been. So we could snap this and make their Hydro Bob hop. And then they have to get something to stick there. They have Rocket and Raccoon. They have Rocket and Groot that can shift over to the right as well. So maybe they don't have to play anything in Danger Room. Still think I like this play. Goliath mid. We could do Goliath mid, but I think there's, especially if we snap it, there's a chance Hydra Bob pops over left, and that becomes kind of a gamble as well. It's a 25% chance that space. Oh no. Well, that didn't quite pay off. Timothy, thank you so much for the resub for 6 months at tier 1. Did someone say drops in Workday stream? We did. Drops are live. High Voltage goes live in about 30 minutes. And so then we're going to have a new card release, which is always exciting. But I am going to run to the restroom real fast, so we're going to let a couple minutes of ads play, and then I'll be right back, you guys. Goliath mid was the play. Yeah, the other one was a bit too risky in hindsight. It's just criminal how much Mobius destroys Sarah are negative. Yeah, but I think it's a necessary evil. I think like those very deck-defining, game-defining combos need a lever that kind of offsets them entirely. And then Hydra King, welcome in. Thank you so much for the resub with your Prime for 8 months. Hopefully you're having a great one so far. And so with Mindscape, I guess we have Legion that could potentially pull it away. So maybe it's fine. Let's go Iron Patriot left. All we need is a way to block ramp cards. So I think Gorgon is supposed to be like a somewhat attempt at that. It hurts Arsham for sure. But I can see how maybe it's not a full-blown effective counter to it. Because there are so many ways to like cheat out energy these days. It's actually the second time I've seen this this Art Germ Scream. I didn't realize it was a $100 variant though. One cost Red Skull's nice. Let's play Galacta. The fewer cards we move, probably the better. You get Legion, which is nice. We can rip away Mindscape entirely. But a rocket move isn't great. Because we want to make sure we have space for the monster that's popping up here. I guess we could also Legion into Vormir. But since they have priority, they would be able to play around it. Firehair's release really gave me hope for Mill, but the Mill decks with Fire, yeah. I think with Yondu's change to not, well, rest in peace, Rocket. I think Yondu's change to not really be effective with death really hurt the Misery Mill decks that we've been seeing run around. So this would give them 2, 4, 6, 8. Goes up to 32. We get 16. Up to what, 28? Not that. Also try something like this, but it depends on what their last turn play is and where they're going to push their big power. Does Elias beat whatever they would play mid? With this one, potentially. Well, actually, Elias is probably better because Red Skull is only 8. But we may be okay. Oof. It was a close one, but we'll pull it out. Full mill is just not really a good strategy. Yeah, it kind of had a resurge with the misery stuff going around and with death, but with Yondu being taken off of the death discount, it's very it hurts that even half combo even more, and so now it's just like kind of fragments of like a synergy. And then Georgie said, Twitch drops and March Madness. I'm having a great time today. I didn't realize March Madness had started. Well, of course it started. I haven't been following March Madness this year, I guess would be more so what I meant. And then Roram, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great one. It's the good week in the first one. And so whenever you see whenever you get to see a lot of the teams play. I haven't followed either, I guess, professional or college basketball in a while. I got kind of too busy to keep up with it. And so then I stopped really paying much attention. Got to rank 6? Roram, that is crazy. What have you been rocking that you've been climbing so heavily with? That's incredible, by the way. And then Soury, thank you so much for the resub with your Prime for 7 months. Very much appreciate having you here. So Thanos decks typically don't like Sinister London, but they most definitely have Reality Stone. So I very highly doubt that we're going to be able to duplicate anything this turn. And then Hot Dynamics, thank you so much for the Prime resub as well for 8 months. Very much appreciate you. Well, pulling the Carnage definitely helps them. Big Death. We're not running Shang-Chi in this version, though. I'm swapping between Destroy Firehair and Loki Moto. Wait, what is Loki Moto? And I don't know that I've seen anybody rock and Destroy Firehair, but it sounds really interesting. I'm glad that it's working for you. Shang-Chi's at a 50% play rate. 50% is far too high for a tech card. I mean, I understand why. We have so much like power creep and power gain, and so it's a lot easier to play a 10 plus power card now than it ever has been. And Roram, so yeah, I assume that you've either streamed it or created content around it already, right? So if we do this, we're going to shift it over to the left guaranteed. And they'll have to do Hail Mary stuff. Now, the only problem is they have a lot of low to the ground cards. And so I think they get more benefit here out of the multi-ant maze. Dodge the Shang-Chi, huge. Massive Goliath. I never get the luck with the deck that the opponent is having. Me neither. Being able to find Firehair and the Destroy pieces, and the fact that they had both Mind Stones that were able to duplicate, gave them a huge start. But they milled through through their entire deck, which is impressive. All right, I'm pulling it up. And so for Loki Moto, do you mind if I play it for a little bit? We have about 20 minutes before high voltage runs. I guess I could have kept this one. It's a decent enough list. And then the Firehair Destroy, it looked like it's the Derek one. High voltage drops? Yeah, so we have drops that are already enabled, and then high voltage should launch in about 20 minutes. But drops are already running, though. Agamotto, I feel like most of the cards or the pieces of Agamotto are fairly balanced. There are a couple that are definitely, I think, a little bit too strong. But as I'm building this deck out, so that you guys don't have to just sit through the building and then hit an ad right after, I'm going to run a quick ad break as we build it, and then we'll jump back into some games. Yeah, wins and the images is also very, very strong. It has a high enough cost, but it can create some really, really powerful plays. So Loki, Quinjet. I haven't seen Quinjet be super viable in a while, so it's awesome to see it in a few viable lists that we've been seeing. Iron Patriot and Sam Wilson, I think, are both on the end of the spectrum where they're too strong, because it feels like they're good enough value that they can just kind of be splashed into any deck, and they improve upon that deck, unless it's a very heavy combo, like specific combo deck, like a negative deck. Rocket and Groot also kind of falls into that territory. Then we have Copycat, which also very, very strong. Shang-Chi, Miss Marvel, Galacta, and then Agamotto. So I like that this is a fairly low-cost deck, except for Agamotto and the spells. That gives you a lot more flexibility in like what you can play. That Domino variant you got. I wish I got a chance to use it more often. Because like Domino has some pretty good variants. It's just most of the time she's not worth running. A strong beard man. It's it's a blessing and a curse, Pyro. And so it grows incredibly like full, but it also grows incredibly quickly. And then I think Miss Marvel, as long as it's kind of that surprise piece, and also if you have 3 of them mid, like there's always a play where you maybe hit it with images. Could be an interesting dynamic there too. And then I like images alongside Sam's shield, because you can use that as a free whatever card you're wanting to duplicate up on. So how about the bugged AF dagger bundle? I did see the dagger bundle, and it is awful how bugged that thing is. Let's do Rocket mid. I think that's going to have the highest chance of a hit here. No, they played left. Bugged, it looks like it's almost unviewable. Let me see if I can find a picture. I had one that someone sent on Discord. And for it being a paid variant, it's so unfortunate. This one's from Browday. Let me bring it on the screen for you guys. Oh, wait. I'll just open it in a browser. It's for some reason it's not updating right. There we go. All right, so that's what it does. Whenever it's upgraded, it's bugged. I don't know a better way to describe it. It's just messed up. We probably should have played Quinjet earlier, right? Potentially last turn alongside like a Loki. Is there ever a shot where we want to images onto the Galacta next turn? Quinjet. We'll do temporal manipulation after. Leave the shield left. Ooh, I'd images now. You'd hit Galacta? Yeah, I guess hitting Galacta into the Quinjet, so that you get the like double or triple trigger. Yeah, you're probably right, Roram. Ooh, big cannonball.
All systems go.
I don't think we win this one. I mean, we could Agamotto. Moving Rocket over only helps their Craven out. And so then we're kind of reliant on just the Hydra Bob. Could also do this number and try to snap their Hydra Bob out. I guess it just depends on what lane they're pressuring or pushing for. Your Bob moves too. True. Yeah, if we snap, our Bob moves too. And so if we were doing that, we'd want to maybe risk snap Bob over here. Probably here. I mean, we're not ranked number 6, so we're gonna risk it. It does look like they're going big into mid instead of right. We picked wrong. Wait. Oh no. Had we played Agamotto last, we would have been fine. Yeah. Seven, 8. No, we wouldn't have been fine. I'll focus up. We'll play a little bit better. I do like the. I hadn't seen this deck floating around, but I do like the build of it. It has a lot of, I think, flexibility in finding ways to win in difficult games. That last one was more so on me not finding a way to win. Get him, Derry. I feel like I misplayed a couple of those turns, Derry, but you also played it very well. I was just on that last turn. I was just gambling on where you were trying to position your power, and I was hoping that it was over to the right, but it was a good game as always, Derry. Anytime you use a card like Eitri, yeah, I like Eitri. I like the include of Quinjet, even though it's mainly for or only for the spells. I definitely like the include of Quinjet just as like a cheaper card for us. We do get a copy of their arrow, which is kind of nice. We might be able to maybe full clutter a lane. So if they still have priority, we can probably cap them out here as long as they don't find their Sam Wilson. Quinjet works with Loki. That too, yeah. Quinjet and Loki as well. And so either just for the spells or with the Loki line. I'm supposed to be on a work call, so have a good weekend. Get him, Derry. Also, the beard looks good. Thank you so much. Hopefully I run into you again soon, Derry. And enjoy your work call. Hopefully it goes quickly. You could add Wiccan to the deck. Would also work. I mean, it could. We don't have a whole lot of the 2-cost range. And so I think that'd be our biggest risk area. But like I think it'd be okay. I just don't know that we need the extra energy on the last couple of turns. You also have the spells, true. We also have the one spell. Wiccan's role is fulfilled by bolts, yeah. Yep, I agree. Let's go ahead and skip. We'll let the rocks go away. Next turn, maybe it's Iron Patriot Loki. If they're snapping it, it could be a destroy deck. And they're snapping into a free death. Or the Gorgon line. Which they just kind of cancel each other out. And so it's still fine. Killmonger's big. So Quinjet's now gone. Potential death. Which I imagine is what they have in their hand. Hmm. We do get the deep discount on crossbones, and also Sarah is nice to see. Especially that in the Smithsonian Museum lane. On top of Gorgon. I like it. Sarah left? Yes, Sarah left goes very hard. Because then we could drop a Gorgon on top of it. We have the crossbones as long as we're winning a lane, which they may overtake us. We may not be able to do crossbones if we drop Sarah. Ooh, we get a Juggernaut. So we win the right lane. So we just need to hold down the left, right? And then Angel sending love from work. I'll lurk at break. I appreciate it, Angel. So we could either Winds of Watum to push one of them out alongside, like, Gorgon. We could do Miss Marvel, which I think is also good because it adds another +2. And then the 5. We take it back right, so we're swinging this one by 4 already. I like it. I almost want to snap back, but we're just gonna play it as is. No, they Juggernauted us first. Oh no. Well, we knew that they had the Juggernaut. We knew it was a risk. Rough. Had Juggernaut popped here, could we have won? With the 3/6, an extra 5 would have been an 11. 6, 7, 8. No, they would have won it by 1. We definitely got the left lane, though. The left lane was definitely ours. Glad we didn't snap back. Any early thoughts on Khonshu? I feel like he's gonna be he feels like he's gonna be a strong card. I think it may take a little bit of time and some tweaking to find the deck that he really like shines in. But I do think he's gonna be very, very good. I don't really want to do bolts yet. I think we're just gonna do King Eitri. Call it Eitri mid. I agree, Roram. I think we save these two until we... Ooh, that is such a big copycat. Let's pull the card. Let's rock a raccoon. I think that's an easy snap. We have priority, so if they're fighting for the Abbey, we get the double scale on Rocket. Such a huge hand. Yeah, Astrodim's gonna pull it over, which is fine. But putting it into the Abbey drew us the card. And so then it rips over to the left. Bolts plus Sam. I think that's my problem. Every time I play Galacta, I feel like focusing on her like that turn. But I do think that Sam Wilson opens up a little bit more flexibility. I'm going to separate the two ongoing, so I'll play Sam mid. Sam left. To get some power over there. I like to play the images on Gwynpool. Yeah, that or even Galacta. You're at the point to set up Icon Galacta. True. Oh, true. We could always set it up like this. Oh, wait. No, Galacta pulls over left, doesn't it? I guess we could leave shield over. We're gonna lose our rocket off of it. Then we get a good scale on Loki. Next turn we have the big copycat. We could do winds to the left. Or copycat to the left, just depending. It's gonna be a huge Loki. Loki left, move the shield. But then we don't get a trigger off of the 3 Galactas this turn. Three Galactas is craziness. Absolutely crazy work. Then Diamondback. I think Copycat left should be fine. Could double down right. Diamondback gets the huge scaling. Winds of Watum would hit Sarah. I think especially with such a big copycat, I think it's hard for them to vulnerable to Shang-Chi. Yeah, but then Shang-Chi pulls left, right? But we would still. I mean, this would be 0. Shang-Chi would pull left unless they could fill left as well. We may have went too much in the right lane. Good for our copycat. Great for our copycat. We'll take it. Victory. Yeah, the copycat is what like really pushed that over the edge. All right, we should have high voltage now. I think what I saw was that the only thing that was really changing was Gambit being added to the ban list, which... Oh. Yeah, so Gambit was added to the ban list. How do I get drops? Yeah, so the drops are free. If you follow the first link, you link your Twitch account to your Marvel Snap account, and then just by being in an eligible stream, you'll make progress. There's a ban list? Yeah, there's a ban list of cards for high voltage. So Magic, Galactus, Black Widow, Goliath, and now Gambit has been added onto it. Just with all the Wong Gambit stuff, I think is why they went that direction. And then at the end of the track, we have the first Ghost Rider, which I think is an interesting card. Of the cards that have been released, I think this has some of the higher potential of the recent ones. So we had like Lasher in High Voltage, which is relatively unimpactful. Like sometimes you can get a really good trigger, but for the most part, it wasn't anything crazy. I could see the first Ghost Rider being good in like several discard shells and really helping elevate that, especially with Khonshu coming out. Oh wait, my deck's invalid? Oh, it has Eliath. I forgot. And so probably just another good 6. Just wish Arshan was banned as well. Yeah. I have a cook for first Ghost Rider if you need it. Tucker and I think it's going to be... Tucker, I think, is going to feature it later. Ooh, yeah. I'll absolutely check it out. Cutting Absorbing Man then? I don't know. Absorbing Man still has some pretty decent triggers, like hitting Juggernaut, hitting Leader, hitting Doctor Doom. Can all be, like, I think, decent pieces. So... Zemo Morph. I feel like there was another 3 cost that I liked the idea of, but didn't end up putting in here. Maybe I was wrong. I think Copycat is also a decent addition. And Agamotto. Yeah, Agamotto might be pretty decent. But I think we're going to see a lot of like Cosmo, a lot of Juggernaut stuff. So Baylor Burn, I had the same thought. If the first Ghost Rider discards a negative card, it counts as 0. All right, so we're going to jump into a quick set of ads is about to run. We're going to let those roll, and then we'll jump into a couple of games. Yeah, it loses nothing. It just doesn't gain anything as well, which is kind of sad. I was hoping we could do like a Hobgoblin discard into resummon. Just some like cheeky clutter shenanigans. Yeah, if we end up not liking Copycat, I think Hulkling is probably my next choice. This one is Ironheart. And so that's the person inside the Ironheart suit. I think she's working on it. And so we'll see if it feels like we have too few like high-end pieces with the Copycat. Wait, you said 5-0 Ironheart with an ongoing? Wait, was that Ironheart? Wait, did the text read Iron Man's ongoing? I'll have to take a look at it. Unfortunately for High Voltage, I think an anti-fun list is the most effective at like just overpowering and winning being able to overpower and win the game. So Cosmo, and I think Ebony Maw. We can save Ebony Maw for next turn. So I'm going to Cosmo and Baron Zemo. Pull one of theirs. So I feel like this really fits my MO though. It has Iron Man's text. That's so funny. We do have priority, so Juggernaut is still in effect. do something like that. I kind of disgust me too, Cho. I understand. It's very understandable. Oh no! If that's some strong on reveal cards in the left, we may have messed up by pulling the Wong over. Oh no! We need it to hit Wong, or else. I think it would have been fitting had they won, because of how anti-fun our deck is. No, they did still win, right? They won with the Lasher. And then they also had the White Tiger spawn. All right, we deserved that for launching up and choosing evil violence. You said WTF is this border? I like it. I didn't realize it was because it looks kind of plain here, but whenever you pull it up, I like it. Oh yeah, and this is a 5-0 Ironheart with your total power here is doubled. So it is an Iron Man Ironheart. I go away for 30 minutes, come back, and you turned evil. It happens sometimes. The ban list, the only thing new to the ban list is a Gambit. Otherwise, it's Magic, Galactus, Black Widow, and Alioth. And Alioth, I think, was originally allowed, and then I think the second iteration added Alioth, and this third one banned Gambit. I like that they're doing different things with the borders. Me too. My only like displeasure with borders is that I have like I hoard my items in whatever game it is. I hoard my items because I want to make sure that I'm using it for something effective. And so like borders, I have borders galore because I don't want to use it on a bad card and then never use that card. So then I just end up never utilizing whatever reward we get. I use them in tech cards and season pass cards. I guess that's a good approach answer. So Absorb Man to retrigger Doctor Doom. And then we could Juggernaut. I guess we could also Cosmo. We wanted to choose a little bit of violence. How does first Ghost Rider work? So with first Ghost Rider, it discards a card. If it's let's say it has 2 power, first Ghost Rider is going to be a 2/3. Oh wait, that was the last turn. I thought I had one more turn. We got very lucky. Otherwise, I would have probably used a Juggernaut somewhere. Oof. Yeah, and so you're going to want to make sure that in hand you have either negative cards, so like Gore, or 0 power cards like Iron Man, so that you can discard them. I think he's going to work really well with Khonshu in a couple of the different phases that he has. And so I think those two will kind of go and mesh or synergize really well together. Said I do the same, so I'm forcing myself to use them on cards I really like. So hand Warrior Surfer Silver. I probably need to. Just so I don't hoard them forever. That is a huge copycat. I'm gonna go ahead and play Morph. See what we hit. It's absolutely Morphin time. I think high voltage. Oh well. I was gonna say I think high voltage is a really good bet for using Morph, but did not pay off this time. I'm going to go ahead and go Magneto just to see if we can maybe grab priority and going into the final turn. We could set up either a Juggernaut, maybe a Doctor Doom, maybe a Cosmo. It was, in fact, not morphing time. It was not morphing time at all. Ooh, Quantum Tunnel is interesting. So, Baron Zemo, decent. Leader, also decent. And then it rotates into whatever. Ideally like a Negasonic or Doctor Doom or even Maz, okay. Juggernaut can win them left. Yeah, that's true. No. No. Apparently Baron Zemo can win them left as well. Nope, never mind. Okay. Wow. Our board is very sad. Oh, what a rough looking board state.
I am Iron Man.
Oof. Another case of deserve for playing anti-fun, that's true. I really enjoy Living Tribunal in high voltage. And I think the other like positive thing about high voltage is that most of your progress hinges on completing your missions as they refresh, less so on winning every single game. Due to your math, I play Kang in high voltage to draw a card 66% of the time. I do enjoy King, especially in like Living Tribunal decks. I enjoy King a good amount. Whether it be with that you pull it out with like Blink or Jubilee, you have a lot of ways to end up utilizing that card. All right, let's go big in the right lane. King is such a troll card. I like King in this one. All right, so they morphed into our Juggernaut. Well, and we pulled their but one cost spell, unfortunately. I think we save the Juggernaut for next turn. I'm gonna do, I think, Leader now and see what we hit. So happy they banned Gambit. He was a pretty frustrating card at times, but I do know a lot of people that like to run like Wong, Gambit, like machine gun type stuff, which I'm a little bit sad for them. Ooh, Bolts is a big pool. What card are we all gonna complain about next? Yeah, Cosmo, Juggernaut, Shang-Chi. Okay. It was literally Wong Gambit every game. Yeah, but you could have like Cosmo, Juggernaut, disrupts that a lot. And so I think there were ways around it. So Absorbing Man gets pulled over to the right. Cosmo lands here. could do a Sasquatch. We could do a Juggernaut left as well. Maybe that's what we do. So that's why I was playing Shuri Nimrod. My opponents were so supportive. I'm sure that helped a lot. Funny enough, I got Kang from an album as a reward. And so that's how you unlocked Kang. If so, that is funny. Shang-Chi is also another one that is an anti-fun. And then Magovis, Witness, where have you been? So my kids were out of school for spring break last week. And last minute, my wife got called in for an emergency, some emergency travel for work, and so she was gone for the whole week. And so it was just me with 2 children at home for the entirety of the week, and so I had very little time to fit anything else in, unfortunately. And so I was kind of strapped for time. And then before that, I was just taking a little bit of a break just to make sure that I wasn't playing to the point where I felt like burnt out from the game. I think we do this. We go Juggernaut mid. We go super anti-fun right with the Negasonic. We go Cosmo, Ebony Maw, just to make sure that no cheeky shenanigans get through. And then Wrathchild, thank you so much for resubbing with Prime for 11 months. Very much appreciate you. Cosmo first. Wait, how come? Since we had priority, it shouldn't matter the order, right? Oh, before Juggernaut? But it still shouldn't matter. Since we had priority, we would push their card and it still wouldn't reveal until our Cosmo was in place. And then General Sergeant, welcome in. You said happy to hear that you're taking breaks when you need them. Yeah, I want to make sure that I don't overdo it. And there's, like, especially on the streaming side, there's some advantages to doing a few less streams each month and focusing on like the high viewer times to like help work out sponsorship rates and things like that. Your replacement for Copycat? If I didn't have Copycat, I would probably do another like big body, so like Hulkling. I think could be okay. We're not going to get a lot of value out of Negasonic here, but I'm still going to go ahead and drop it. I'm just sticking with the double Draken Dracula strat. I feel like discard is another one that last time High Voltage was around that did fairly well. I can't remember if it ran Bullseye. I didn't run it extensively, but it seems like a counter heavy or a discard deck were like the 2 higher performing ones that kind of rose to the top towards the end of the week. So they have big gore that scales in the right. I think we Juggernaut mid to win here, and then we kind of block them with the Cosmo left as well. We actually lose. We lost the left lane, just didn't quite have enough oomph. Had we thrown anything to the right, we would have won. That's what I get for running anti-fun, though. I can't complain anytime I lose, because we are running a very inherently anti-fun deck. And so the replacement for Copycat, no, I think I mentioned it. I'd go with a big body, so like Hulkling or something similar. Copycat, just in general, the same reason why we run like a Morph. In high voltage, typically the opponent is running higher things, and so you're much more likely to pull or copy something good. Red Hulk? Yeah, I think he doesn't have as many turns to scale, but I do think he's, in general, still pretty good. Let's go Baron Zemo. I think a good Cosmo counter might help, because it looks like just probably a destroy deck. We cannot escape this carnage. Stealing the cubes and the fun. However, I haven't been stealing the cubes this time around. I've been losing more than I've been winning. Without Shang-Chi, if they have an Arnim Zola to move that Black Panther, we might be in trouble. I guess Symbiote Spider-Man's pretty big too. We only have 3 things in hand. Nimrod. So if we Magneto yank the Venom over to the left, Symbiote's going to merge with that. We can also Cosmo so it doesn't re-trigger. I think that's probably our play. Cosmo left so that whenever it merges, it's not going to double up on power again. Or we could just rip Symbiote Spider-Man away from there altogether. But I think we go something like this. Placement for Baron Zemo. If you have Copycat and all the other pieces, I would say probably still lean into like the big body. So like a Hulkling or something. So it's a Wong Arnim, right? Yeah. We're about halfway through this one. But I'm going to run to the restroom real fast, and so since I'm going to step away for a second, I'm going to run a quick, I think Magneto right would have been funnier. Be able to pull everything over. And I think it still could have won. If we were kind of expecting the Arnim Zola play, I think ripping it away to the right, they still would have been able to hit Wong into Arnim Zola onto the Black Panther, though. So I think we would have been in trouble with that one. But I'm going to run a quick set of ads as I run to the restroom, and we'll be right back. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. So we have Morph. We have Baron Zemo. I'm going to wait a turn before doing Morph. So we're just going to do like Vibranium Baron Zemo. The first Ghost Rider does look really, really cool. Wait, we steal another one of the cards because we pulled Absorbing Man here. Fenris, not bad. And I also like the card itself. Like the effect. I think it's going to be a useful card to have, especially if you enjoy discard decks at all. I think it's going to be very, 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 very good. So we could do Wong Drax if we thought they were going to play left. We have to look out for them having Shang-Chi. Since they're running a mill deck, I'm assuming that they do. And if we don't destroy anything of theirs... I was going to say we can always Doctor Doom left, which will flood into mid and right. Firehair for the copy. Instead of Morph, we could do Demon, Venom into Doom. That way we still have the space, but we put 9 here instead of a random amount. I'm not sure it's going to be enough. And the story of the I'm not familiar with the story of the prehistoric Avengers. Is it worth checking out? Mojo was too strong. And so I'm missing out, and I haven't read a lot of the comic lines. I'm starting to slowly work my way through them. I did House of X and a few of the other, or some of the other like highly recommended, sometimes older works. But I'm missing out on a lot of stuff. I signed up for Marvel Unlimited to so I have access and I could kind of pick and choose what I wanted to read. I only read one comic, but it was pretty cool. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so we have priority. We could hit him with Negasonic. Maybe we Cosmo right in case of a Shang-Chi. And then we reserve the right for like a Juggernaut. Maybe Juggernaut left. And so if we're doing that, we may want to fight for priority. I'm going to Ebony Maw into mid. Yeah, House of X was very, very good. It was highly recommended as a starting spot for me. They do lose their Magneto, but our Cosmo is now left instead of right. Ooh. The next card played here is destroyed. I mean, we could still Juggernaut, just in case they try to Shang-Chi here. And I think we follow that up with a leader. call that good. And then Murdolph, thanks so much for resubbing with your Prime for 10 months. Welcome back. Oh, hi once again. Depending on where their highest power card, leader might be good here. Might also... Ooh, nope, not great. Not with Cannonball. Unless it sends it to the left, then we have maybe a small shot. No, with the right, we do not have a shot. If it went left, we would have went up to 14. So we lost the 50-50 split. We may switch it up and try a less anti-fun deck, something a little bit with maybe some of the newer cards. I think Agamotto is an interesting idea for high voltage, and it's something that we didn't have the last time that this was around. I highly recommend reading the rest of Jonathan Hickman's stuff. Read his run of Fantastic Four and the Avengers and New Avengers leading into the Secret Wars event. I would like to read a bit more into like the secret event or the Secret Wars stuff. And so I'll probably have to do that. Let's go ahead and go Doom. We can do Absorbing Man to copy it and just avoid Otto's Lab altogether. That'll give us a really flexible last turn. Also, it's maybe a bot potentially. And the run is long. So I've been doing in my downtime while working on a few other like projects, I've been doing a lot of like walking while working on it. And so I have a lot of time on the treadmill that like whenever I'm reading or like just watching TV in the evenings, I'm trying to like be a bit more active and stay moving. And so I think having a really long comic line to read would be really cool. So Shang-Chi, take out the Black Panther. We have Absorbing Man, which will copy the Doctor Doom. And we can throw an Ebony Maw. I think we should be okay. It's rude, but I enjoyed doing a Toxic deck last high voltage. Ooh, in the last couple of days. US Agent and Man-Thing in one lane with Luke Cage. This is enough to basically win one lane by itself. True, with all of the like high-end stuff. Does this win? Oh no. It was close, but not quite. And then Maddie with the hydrate reminder. I appreciate you. High voltage means one thing to me. Time to dust off some white tigers. I do enjoy some white tiger, like just regular Odin on reveal stuff. I think is good enough and effective enough that it's definitely worth running some. I'm excited about this card. Like the other cards, I wasn't really excited about brewing anything with. I think the first Ghost Rider is going to fit into like decks that we already have in place very, very well. You have a deck code to yoink. I'm sure I can grab one. Ooh, maybe not. It's not on my stats yet because they haven't updated for high voltage. I don't. I don't have one that's easy to yoink. But you already ran into the first Ghost Rider? Yeah, for the high voltage, I don't. The tracker's not tracking the stats for it, so I don't have the easy pickup stat code for it. It's because it's too early for it. All right, we can get a lot of value from like Dr. Doom, Absorbing Man. Kind of want to go like a big Magneto. Yeah, I'm going to go Magneto, see if we can maybe grab priority back. I won with your deck? Nice, Nissan. So this one is, it's a very anti-fun deck. I feel a little bit bad about, but I guess not bad enough not to do it. Do you ever Absorbing Man the Galacta over to the left? Do something like this. I think this blocks any kind of like Shang-Chi. Baron Zemo might pull something decent for us. And then we could either do Doctor Doom, we could do Negasonic, Juggernaut next turn. Just kind of depends. How lucky have you been with Pocket lately? So I actually haven't. It's the final turn. Oh my goodness. High voltage just messes me up. Messes me up entirely. Oh, we lost then for sure. Maybe not? No, we should have lost that one. But we will take it. I actually haven't jumped on Pocket for a while. Since the newest expansion, I don't think I've even touched. I don't know. For whatever reason, it wasn't like, grabbing my attention. Like on the new card releases, it was fun. It was exciting, but then there would be a very established meta very quickly, and there wasn't a lot of like counterplay to those decks, and so it kind of got monotonous pretty quick each time an expansion launched. I'm an OG mill enjoyer, and my first time getting to Infinite was back when we'd combo Galactus into Old Spider-Man. Galactus into Old Spider-Man into just being able to free win it on 6 was so much fun. I appreciate you making it, Angel. I'm anti-fun enjoyer. Yeah. Why would they do that? They blew up their Ironheart. Can be pinned. Okay. I'll pin it for a bit. Big Mr. Negative. I guess not really big in Mr. Negative. They only have one turn to draw the cards, right? Wait, they never played Super Scroll, did they? Why is Super Scroll showing on the tracker? Oh, because I copied it from their hand. I'm gonna do something like this. I don't think they play for mid because of our Negasonic. Well, that's that's not a great pull from our leader. Mid is looking very scary now. We may be able to win it. I think it just depends on what all they pull out. What's the code for? The code is just for it's the deck code for the deck that we're running. Armzola popping mid. When it was over in the right and it hits the Sage, yeah, we're cooked, right? No. Yeah. Super Scroll almost saved us. Couldn't quite do enough though. Wait, why did they? I guess Wong was probably in the right alongside like their Sage Arnumzola. And so now, unless we're refilling, we're not going to get a whole lot of progress for towards the new card. We do get some. We could do a negative affliction deck. I don't know if it does enough to stop like the really high-end combos that we see though. And Shadowfire, welcome in. I'm doing well. Hopefully you're doing well as well. A lot of tokens needed. Yeah, it's a lot of tokens needed, but with high voltage, I do kind of like the direction that they went. Because high voltage focuses very largely on needing to complete the missions and not so much grind heavily. And so with that, as long as we, like, every 8 hours or most of the time during those 8 hours, as long as we log on, complete it, then we're able to unlock the card. And I think it's like 2 to 3 days. Yeah, because it's 5 and then 3 and 2, right? For the missions. So it's 1,000 points every time it refreshes. I love any excuse to play more. Me too. Any good excuse to run Morph, and I'm all in. We could have also launched like a Baron Zemo. I think could have also been maybe better than the Cosmo. Because with Cosmo, we know that they probably don't have heavy on reveals. Oh, they cooked us. They cooked us, didn't they? And so with 8k points, you only need 12 refreshes. Or 1k point every refresh. 12 refreshes. 3 a day, 4 days in. As long as you complete your missions each time. 4 days in, you'll be able to get it. And that's not including like the points that you get for actually playing, which could knock off some time. You can refill if you need to, but as long as you hit most of the refreshes, you should have no problem pulling it. I think we're gonna pivot decks here soon. Genesis feels like maybe a bot. They're running Hulkbuster. And so I don't think we're gonna get a good hit out of Morph, but I'm still gonna throw it. Maybe it's not a bot.
Breaking news.
They have priority. Our Cosmo doesn't do much good, but a good leader is decent. We could either do Baron Zemo, do leader into Absorbing Man, along with an Ebony Maw. I think 2 triggers of leaders is an interesting one. Oh wait, we knew they had Shang-Chi. What are we doing? And then Tannis, I just now saw your message on the YouTube side. It has been a long, it feels like it's been a long couple weeks actually. And so it's definitely good to be back. So we could either burn some gold to unlock the card a little bit faster. I may pop back over into ladder until we hit a refresh. I don't know. We'll see. I like playing the new mode, but let's not burn gold. We grind for rank 1. I don't think I'm ever going to hit rank 1. I had to make sure the beard was back in a full state before streaming. And then Faded Sun, welcome in. The last couple of months, it has been mainly playing during drop weeks, but I still play during like the downtime, even if I'm not streaming it. I'm typically still playing and toying around with it. It's just it hasn't been as much content towards that. We could try to grab priority with something like this. That way we could set up like a Juggernaut Cosmo. Ooh. Or Shang-Chi for the Agatha. They still have 6 here though. So maybe we don't Shang-Chi, because we would still have to go kind of heavy there. It may just be a Juggernaut. Oh wait, no, we can't play. We can't play in nowhere. In that case, this one's here. I just did Symbiote, Spider-Man plus Black Panther. Zola that lane, and then Absorbing Man the Panther. Oh my goodness, Pablo. That is a it's a huge lane. I think I'm gonna go ahead and go Juggernaut right. I don't think they're gonna play over there because the Negasonic, but in case they like heavily stack, Cosmo right could have Cosmo right may have been the correct play as well. Because depending on how these split, it could be problematic. We'll take that though. The Cosmo Right was the play. It, it, it's the same size kitty. It's just a high cost kitty. Next up, we have the Jolly Roger, and they have a Shuri in hand. It could be like Shuri Black Panther, Shuri Nimrod stuff. And if so, then our Negasonic is a little bit risky. I'm going to play Morph just to see if we can get a little bit more intel. Big Black Panther. Well, we know that they have Arnim Zola. That we have to look out for. I'm not sure we'll have priority going into the final turn, which is potentially problematic. Playing the Arnim Zola now is smart. Shang-Chi would be nice. Otherwise, I don't think we have a shot. So Copycat into Ebony Maw is going to be 14. It's going to be 19 power. No, not going to be able to do it with the Juggernaut coming down. Good. It was big. And then Imbozzy, thank you so much for the Prime resub for 4 months. I don't think I called it out. Very much appreciate having you here. I like that there's no penalty for losing. Yep. Yep, that's one of my favorite things. I think the mode itself, I enjoyed Sanctum Showdown a lot. I played Sanctum Showdown like off stream a whole lot. And depending on where you're at in your account, like you had, it felt like even on my low or free-to-play account, there were a lot of options for like, cards to use and being able to play around what most people were using. High Voltage, there's no punishment for losing, but it also doesn't feel like there's any reward for heavy grinding either. I don't get why High Voltage is not a mode that stays. I don't think it would garner enough players, or enough of a player base if it was here long term, unless there were like rotating rewards that were always in place. Yeah, I really liked the Sanctum Showdown reward structure. I think that was a really good step in the right direction, because it gave an incredible amount of agency on like my free-to-play account. I didn't really want the 3 new cards, and so instead I worked on building up enough to pull Series 4, Series 5 unowned. And so I was able to still get value out of the game mode, even though I didn't necessarily need the primary reward. Yeah, Faded Sun, I agree. We got the Echo, the immediate Echo reward. 7, 8, 9. I don't think it scales with Shang-Chi before Shang-Chi triggers, though. The problem. We could also just look to win the left and Juggernaut the right. I think that'd be doable as well. But I do like that high voltage is like very low stress. It's like you log on, you complete your missions, you get them done, you log off. And as long as you continually do that, you're going to get the card. But for some reason I had people rope and emote spam me in this mode when they're losing. That is unfortunate. Hopefully that kind of thins itself out over time. And I think we are going to switch it up after this one. I pulled up the high voltage deck that I used the first iteration of when voltage came out. That I enjoyed an awful lot. We'll see how it performs this time around, though. Does it also mean? No, this one is very much... I like very much does what it wants to do, and then is relying on the opponent not having like heavy tech cards. But if they don't, then you pretty much win. So mid is a loss lane. I feel like right is probably going to be a loss as well. Ooh, excuse me. Juggernaut would have been great for Mojo World. We didn't pull it though, unfortunately. Yeah, Agamotto, She-Hulk, Ultron. Woo. Not a lot we can do about it. It's a TLSG deck. Of course it's mean. Most of my decks are mean. Just because most of the time, if you're running a mean deck, that it gives you some kind of strategic edge or advantage. This one, not so much. The one that we're going to run. Not this one. I was just seeing what this one was. I'm going to delete it. But this is the one I ran. It was 5 months ago when the mode like first came out. It's a high voltage, or it's a Living Tribunal deck, which was by far my favorite way to play it. The downside is it's very susceptible to like potentially a Cosmo, potentially at the time Gambit and Alioth were both very problematic, and then Juggernaut hurts it quite a bit. And since Kang came not as our draw card, it wouldn't draw us anything. But I do still think I'm going to go Iron Lad. Ooh, big Wiccan. I do wish we had space for more decks. To be fair, I typically only use like a good handful, but I still wish we could have more. If we go Onslaught, Mystique, depending on what pulls in this car lane. Yeah, Wong Gambit still gives nightmares. Yeah, definitely still gives nightmares. This looks like a bot, so we shouldn't have any issues winning it. But Wong Gambit would absolutely just massacre this if they got the proper setup. And so I eventually shifted away from it. Ooh, beautiful. Living Tribunal. So let's go that. Then for the highest points, we'll go Wiccan as well. I think we should be fine. We can still have 20 decks max, but have folders. I like the idea of having folders to be able to pick and choose. So like, if we have a deck that we liked, but we're not going to actively play, or maybe it was good before, being able to kind of like archive it and pull it back later, I think would be cool. But instead, I have to rely on like external trackers, like Untapped, to be able to go back and kind of sift through things that I've done before. And so this one, of course, that was against a bot, but this one is very much more like it does what it wants to do. It pumps out the power that it's going to pump out, and then it's just, as long as the opponent doesn't have a counter to it, it's able to just dominate. So I find this one much more fun to play than the other one. I think the other one is stronger. It can react to what the opponent is playing better. But I enjoy this one. Wiccan turn 1. Ooh, also Bar with No Name, not great for us. Wiccan turn 1, but we don't have enough energy to play the Wiccan. We do get Crystal to draw a card, so we can Wiccan next turn, still get the value from it. Is Kang necessary? No, I would say Kang isn't necessary. There are some times where he can help you determine what your last turn should be. So determining if you should Jubilee into Iron Lad, or if you should Iron Lad and like not play the Jubilee. It can give you insight onto like what cards you have coming up. But I'd say it's definitely not absolutely necessary. Unless we got Wave, we're in a really tricky spot here. Wiccan would only give us 3 more. We may be able to make do with that. We'll see. Kang is there to troll. Sometimes I do end up cutting Kang for like a super scroll. Just because Kang extends the game length. And a lot of times with a game mode like this, you really want short, fast, succinct games. They shouldn't be able to play here, right? Since it's Brooklyn Bridge. Either way, we're only fighting for 2 lanes. We could do this. Gives double Iron Man +5. This is also double Iron Man, but it's +8. So I think we do this one. That way we don't risk a Living Tribunal coming down. Ooh, big Mystique. Wait. They gave up left for the Ultron. Take it. We'll take it. I don't know why. We would have won it either way. They did it to make sure that this wasn't like a guaranteed loss lane, but I don't know. I'm guessing they didn't have a better like out. And since there's no reason to retreat here, might as well try what you can. I don't know, it didn't seem like a bot to me, but maybe it was. It felt like a regular human deck. After this game, can you check if the main screen says Sanctum? I know it did earlier. I saw a screenshot that... it's high... Oh, yeah. There's one for each. Let me, I'll take away some of the stuff on the screen. So there is one for high voltage, but they also have the one for Sanctum that they didn't disable. A lot of like small things that are slipping through. So like this not having like that screen disabled on the carousel, the Iron Heart displaying the 5-0 like Iron Man text. A lot of like small, like unpolished things showing up. I feel like if they ban all of the tech cards, it becomes, I don't know. I feel like the more tech cards that they ban, the more boring it becomes. Because I feel like we need to be able to, or we need to have to play around like some technical pieces. Otherwise, it's just who can slam the most points, and so it becomes a like a Black Panther Arnim Zola counter off. I just like Electro Viper all day. Electro Viper, that is the truly evil play. All right, so we can use Kang to get a little bit of insight on our next couple of cards. So we do, I guess just Crystal or Jubilee, either one. But with Crystal, we get to see our next card. They don't. And then Kang should allow us to draw that card anyways. Without them, it would be like Mario Bros. With infinite lives. Yeah, yeah. There wouldn't be any like thing to, I guess, build around and try to avoid. So we should be able to draw Iron Man here since we played the drawn Kang. Yeah, beautiful. So with the Sarah discount, is it ever worth it to like Crystal and then try to blink into Onslaught? We could also try to Jubilee pull into Onslaught. Or we just prep for a big Living Tribunal and go Crystal, Living Tribunal, and know that we have Onslaught, Mystique, Iron Man to play. Oof, big bolts. And so if they have the one that moves, I think it's Winds. If they have Winds, that hurts our Living Tribunal a lot. So Wiccan. We do have Onslaught. Onslaught, Iron Man, and then it's a 50-50 between Mystique and Wave. Tech cards get banned, it's just playing solitaire. Yeah. Yeah, it's just who draws the right combo pieces at the right time. Because then if they ban Juggernaut. Wait, is this a bot? They definitely could have Negasonicked us. Like, they know that this is the lane that we're focusing on. I guess if they're running Martyr, it's probably a bot. But if they ban, like, Juggernaut Shang-Chi, then the next card that's going to be complained about is Cosmo, and then Shadow King. And I think there's always going to be a card that is unfun to play against, and so then they would probably have to start leaning into banning all of them. Be able to stop, like, the complaints, and then you just have your high-end stuff on just a free-for-all run. Got Namora in my shot and have 7.3 thousand tokens. Wonder if I should get her. I haven't had a lot of Namora games lately. There was a run, a period of time where she was amongst one of the strongest, like, high infinite decks, but I think that it's been a while. She does create some interesting combos with, like, Scarlet Spider and a few other, like, Dark Horse cards that aren't used very often. But for the most part, I wouldn't say she's, like, critical to have. And so it depends on what the rest of your collection looks like. So this is the reason why I've liked the Living Tribunal deck the last time, was because it just ends up being able to do so much. I kind of want a Jubilee here. Since we already have Onslaught, the worst thing, the only bad pull would be either Blink or Mystique. Otherwise, it's pure upside. I might not get all those. Oh, well. He hit Mystique, so that's the downside. I guess we could have also just waved last turn, but I was being greedy. No, you're okay, Drake. I knew what you meant. Although Nidavellir may save our bacon. If we Kang an Iron Lad, that'll give us some info onto what we're going to potentially pull. And then we'll thin our deck, giving ourselves a better chance to have Iron Man in hand, which I think will be really important for winning Nidavellir. So let's Kang Iron Lad to kind of check our potential outs here. Now we have the Blink. So Living Tribunal wave. That should allow us to do Onslaught. Maybe even Iron Lad Blink. Deciding if we want to wave into mid. Yeah, let's do wave mid. Because we can always blink the wave into changing it into whatever it is. Time travel's weird. Yeah, it's been really glitched with that, like, black bar scroll for quite a while. If they have a Shang-Chi, we're toast. Otherwise, I think we have a decent enough shot. Oh, Onslaught's gone. Well, rip. With them having Null, I think there's a good chance that they have Shang-Chi. We're still going to play it fairly greedy, just because. We're going to blink the wave. That's a guaranteed, actually. We can only do 2 of these. We can't do 3. If we could do 3, We would do Iron Lad, try to hit the Iron Man into like Wiccan, rotate it, so we'd have a potential of 2 Iron Men. But I think as is, we're just gonna blink. Into Iron Lad, which will hit Crystal. Onslaught or like Gone Slot. For sure. It's for sure gone in the wind.
I am Iron Man.
Actually, I should have played Blink into mid since we did have the Living Tribunal down. I was thinking we would just run away with the mid lane. We're not going to. Ah. Bad call. Being able to have 26 more power mid would have given us another, what, like 8, which would push into each lane. I still don't know that we would have won it without the Onslaught. Or Mystique, which we lost both. Did you see how tiny Wave was? I did. Wave was very tiny down there. I don't know why. But some weird things happen, especially with like whenever I run Kang. At 3, that's not great. 4 energy is our more ideal start because it gives us the turn 1 Wiccan. But Mystique we can play and then blink it next turn. At least that way we pull into something big and we put Mystique still back into the action. Now we need the tiny wave variant. I think our only hope would be potentially Sarah. And even then, it's just dependent on the opponent having a bad draw. If we get 3 or less to start the game, it's really, really tough with this deck.
I am Iron Man.
Iron Man's nice, but there's no way we get like Onslaught, Mystique, and Living Tribunal down. At best, we hope that they can't really play anything here and it rips over. Or they let this one remain a tie and it goes to a tiebreaker. Ooh, the Baron Zemo rips over Wave, right? Yeah. Wait, we still have the highest power on the left. Oh,
Iron Man.
hit us with it. Oh man. Well, they hit us with their own Kang. Just as we planned. We can't do Living Tribunal Iron Lad. We're missing 1 energy. We can do Onslaught, and then anywhere else that we play is problematic. We could throw Living Tribunal left. And then like Crystal right, but I don't know that is good enough. Or left. I don't know that it's good enough. Double Iron Man Tribunal, not enough? I don't think so. I mean, maybe. Ah, Shang-Chi. Wait. No. No, it wouldn't have been enough because they would have won left after destroying our blink, and then they would have won mid. But Living Tribunal right, maybe. Yeah, Living Tribunal right onto the Iron Man may have been enough. That way we had some push here. Yeah, we couldn't Mystique the Iron Man. Otherwise, I think the Mystique Living Tribunal definitely. They utilized our Kang against us, but they utilized it well. Gave them the information that they needed to win. All right, so we have Sarah into Onslaught. This one is such a... We're just going to be able to dump pretty much the rest of our hand on the final turn. As long as they don't have like an Enchantress Red Guardian. Ooh, and with the Wiccan? I don't think we need the Wiccan energy. So I'm gonna go Wave Crystal. Because we're gonna need some extra reach. We're gonna need to find Iron Man. We're gonna need to find Mystique. Iron Man. Ah, Central Park is rough. We also found Mystique, but so Iron Man, pretty big here. Mystique, decent here. We can always try to dig for our Kang, but I don't think that helps us in this situation. Oh, that Negasonic is brutal. Well, that locks it in. Flasher was in the last high voltage and doesn't have one. Yeah, most of the event cards don't end up having one. The last turn Negasonic was big. It looks very, very close to what we were running earlier with the Anti-Fun, other than like the Galacta. And I guess Hate Bishop. But we're going to run on a... It looks like ads are going to trigger here in just a second, and then we're going to continue running up the games a little bit. I wonder if stats have been updated on the trackers. Because if so, I'd be curious what kind of decks are performing well in high voltage. All right, let's go ahead and hit Iron Lad here. We could do Crystal, but if we drew Wiccan, we wouldn't be able to make use of it. With Iron Lad, we can get utilization out of the Wiccan. Oh, the highest performing one right now with 34 games. I'm assuming that maybe like Dara or somebody's running it. It's pretty counter heavy. It runs Juggernaut, it runs Copycat, Shang-Chi, a lot of the pieces that we were running on my original deck, but it also runs Cannonball, which is mean, but I get it. So we go what? Wiccan plus Wave here. I guess both of those go into Asher Dim. Nope, hold on. If we're gonna do that, we're gonna play them directly to the left. We're just gonna go all in on the left lane. And then we need to find Iron Man Mystique, and we should be okay. So we have the 3 big pieces here. Oh, and then I guess Gamma Lab is after turn 3, so. And there's the Mystique. But Gamma Lab is a bit tricky. We want... That Central Park hurts us a lot more than it should. Because now I think this is our best play. And then we do like maybe a Jubilee into the Gamma Lab lane to get 2 Hulks here. We're hoping for not Kang, because then they'll know our entire like play out plan. There's the Kang. Well, it is what it is. Guess if they have an Enchantress, then they'll be able to knock us out. Same thing if they have a Red Guardian. Ooh, they do have Red Guardian. Oh, rough. So now they'll for sure play Red Guardian mid. Okay. I was thinking maybe it's... I don't know. Since we already have left, we could also go like Onslaught, Iron Man, Mystique, so that Red Guardian only hits a 0 power and we still have an Iron Man Onslaught right to go with. But we didn't need to sit around and figure it out. All right, let's keep running. Next up, we have Dad Game again. We have Crystal to draw some cards. We have the 5 energy to start, but we just don't have anything to make good use out of it. Yet, anyways. So a good wave here could be nice. Beautiful. We can do Wave Blink. We already have Mystique that has a chance to pull out Sarah, Iron Man, or Onslaught. All of which would be big. Or it pulls out Kang. That works too. We're still gonna do the same thing. It's just Kang is not in the mix now, so we have better odds of hitting something more ideal. Either an Iron Lad, Iron Man, Sarah, Onslaught. All 4 of those are fantastic pulls from the Blink. And then that would mean next turn Jubilee is going to be really high value too. So no onslaught that we get to directly play. And we flipped or blinked into Iron Man, so we don't get to Mystique copy it. I think we go as high power as we can mid. And then Jubilee is a guaranteed onslaught pool, isn't it? Wait. Jubilee's guaranteed onslaught. And so we can hit that mid. And we shouldn't be able to Mystique copy it because Jubilee is what we played. But we can Living Tribunal and Wiccan as our high power output left. Oh no! I wanted to Wiccan. Oh man. I played away from left because I think they're going to do a hazmat. So I didn't want the double affliction left. We still got the sweep. It would have been a bit more comfortable had we thrown the Wiccan down. I just last minute panicked that they were going to have a hazmat that would hurt our left lane. But we were fine. All right, Wiccan on 1 is beautiful. Love to see the turn 1 Wiccan. And then Orange Monkey, thank you so much for the resub with your Prime for 6 months. Very much appreciate having you here. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day so far. So with the Wiccan energy, we can hit a 1 out of 3 Iron Man Kang Onslaught. We could also go pretty heavy into like the Sarah discount with Sarah Mystique. I don't think we need to waste the Mystique though. So I think we're going to do... I'm going to do Sarah Crystal. No, we're going to do Sarah last. Crystal Sarah. Just kidding. I'm going to put Crystal into mid, do Crystal last, just in case we pull the Onslaught. We could potentially blink Crystal into like Iron Man or Iron Lad next turn. It kind of depends. So we do get the Iron Man. Living Tribunal, Iron Man, Mystique. I think it's pretty big.
Such is my judgment.
I am Iron Man. I am Iron Man.
Victory.
Big enough anyways. And then official Nissan Altima. All right, I'll change it right after this match. I do in fact know the drill. So we started with 3. That's the worst start that we can possibly get. Because then all we have is like a potential crystal or a wave, both of which are very, very weak. Then we could do wave, but that brings them down to 4. Jubilee, Iron Lad's not huge for us. I think I'm just gonna throw like Onslaught down into Aunt May's, see where it sticks. What is the meta for high voltage? Either I think one of the stronger decks or stronger options is always going to be, it's like anti-fun. It runs like Juggernaut, Cosmo, Shang-Chi, just like your big pieces to counter any of the big stuff that your opponent's doing. That's not necessarily the fun option. Then if your opponent's not running counter stuff, you could run like a deck like this that runs Black Panther Arnim Zola, like a Wong Black Panther Arnim Zola, puts insane power into multiple lanes. It's just very counterable by Juggernaut, Shang-Chi, Negasonic, Juggernaut, Negasonic, Shang-Chi, and Cosmo. Not quite enough. And then now that Gambit is banned, I think that takes out Discard. I think Discard was a very viable one, especially with the Gambit taking out priority targets. Gambit was banned this time around, so I don't think that is part of the meta anymore. But I think it's either something super greedy and like counter heavy, something super like Black Panther, super high power output, or high voltage is always, for me, a good middle ground that I enjoy playing regardless of if I'm winning or losing. But I am going to run to the restroom real fast, so I'm going to jump over to a quick set of ads, and then we'll be right back. You saw the John Cena variant, right? Zoloing Dakin or Dracula, that too, yeah. Better than Black Panther since Dakin can scale higher. Yeah, fits in cheaper. Not an immediate target for Shang-Chi either, and so pretty nice option. All right, let's go Jubilee. Last time we did Jubilee on 1, we hit the Mystique that we did not need. Hopefully we don't have a repeat of that. Oh, Nissan. I'll do it right after this. Thank you for the gentle reminder. Wave's not bad. We can sneak out like an Onslaught. Why can't I emote? What? So I can't emote Ender. Or look at his profile or mute him. That's weird. Okay. We can still only do one card, which is not great. Blink would maybe flip us into Sarah or Iron Man. Either one would be okay. I think we're going to do that. We do find the Sarah. We could Iron Lad to see what our next... Or not Iron Lad. We could Iron Lad to see what our next card was. And then Kang. And so we'd be looking to set up like an Onslaught, Iron Lad, maybe throw something else over here like Jubilee. We can see what our next two cards are actually. Let's do that. And we get to get a sense of what they're going to play. Okay, so Crystal. And then Iron Man. Good to know. Look out for the Juggernaut. Oof. Full on counter heavy nonsense. All right. They do have some great variant game for sure. All right, so we know that it's still Crystal and then Iron Man. So if we did Jubilee, Crystal is going to pull Iron Man from us, or for us. So if that's the route we were wanting to do, we would want to do something like this. I'm not sure that that's the direction we want to go, though. It's Crystal, we pull Crystal, Jubilee pulls that, but then we lose the right lane. We're hoping. They learned King is Red Guardian proof. It is. But if you don't have priority, it is not Cosmo proof. That was a rough 8 cubes to lose whenever he first was released.
I am Iron Man.
I guess it's interesting to know. I didn't realize that Crystal pulls like the top card of your deck, which kind of proved because of the way that this fell. That Iron Lad hitting her. Wait, no, we don't quite get it. It was close. We were able to dodge the Juggernaut. We just didn't. If we had one more point of power, then we would have won. with Jubilee and then Lad. So if we did Jubilee, Jubilee would have pulled Crystal, and then Crystal would have pulled Iron Man. And so then Iron Lad would have hit, I think, Mystique. And so I think that I don't think it would have played out as well. But that is one of the reasons I like I like Kang in this list, is because we can kind of pick apart the information to know what our most efficient play is on the last turn. So it takes out a lot of the guesswork. So with 7, without extra energy, without a wave, Sarah really doesn't, I don't think, get enough done for us. But we could do maybe Living Tribunal Onslaught in the left would be big, especially if we can maybe copy it. Or even like an Iron Man Mystique would be big too. There an Iron Fist 1 million BC variant? Don't know. I don't know. So doing this one relies really heavily, because then we could Iron Lad, see if we hit Mystique. But it relies very heavily on winning the left lane, because then it doubles up on Omega Red. We could also do like an Iron Man, Iron Lad, which helps really elevate this lane, I think. But we're going to try. As long as we win left, we should win the game, right? Oh, huge Mystique pool. That should give us the win, I think. Yeah.
Victory.
All right, let's go ahead and throw a Crystal. Not the best start, but not awful either. Oh, high voltage. Ooh. Subterranean is pretty rough. We could use Blink right now to get Jubilee, Kang, Sarah, or Onslaught. We can do Wiccan into a rock into Blink. Eventually. Let's do that. What are your thoughts on Firehair? I like the uniqueness of Firehair. I think finding something that is a consistent and big enough payoff with her right now is kind of sometimes kind of difficult. But I do think she has a lot of really cool like decks. So like Destroy Firehair is cool. We see like the Hammer Firehair, Clutter Firehair. I think there's a lot of cool deck ideas. It's more so just finding or waiting for someone to really refine one down to the point where it's like fully optimized that I think we'll potentially see it take off. Like right now, it doesn't have great stats, or she doesn't have great stats, but I think she's one that very well could. This would be guaranteed a decent upgrade. We could also just Living Tribunal Iron Man, hope that it's enough split across. It's not a lot split across, but it's like 18 at least, I think. And so I think from a deck building perspective, or like looking at it, her ability is really cool because it's not like pigeonholed into just working against discard or just working against. Oh, we lose left by 1. Unfortunate. It's not like pigeonholed into just being good in Destroy or just being good in like Surfer or a very specific niche deck. She's one kind of like Moonstone, where as we get new cards, I think we're going to continue to see her usage just continue to like, pop up time and time again. Oh, wait, no. We don't want regular game mode, especially not with this deck. Did you ever see the clip of Galactus and Firehair destroying all lanes? I did. I thought it. I thought it was it's a very niche setup. Like you have to have a very. I don't think it's ever gonna just randomly happen in a game. But I did see it, and I like if it for some reason randomly happened in a game, I don't think I'd even be mad. I think I'd find it funny more than anything. We have 2 more drops, right? So I could one up. Could riff it. I didn't see who won though, Downey. But it's the perfect end to a match. Yeah, like you couldn't even be mad about it. Oh no, Nissan, I still didn't. Oh man, I still didn't. I still didn't get your reward. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna refund it because I am gonna have to head out to pick up my son from school. And then I'll come back a little bit later this evening to stream some more. But Nissan, I refunded that one, and then I'm also going to refund one additional one that you made a little bit further back, just so that you have the extra. So we are going to raid out real fast. Let me see. But we're going to raid out. We're going to send you guys over into Alex's channel. He's doing some giveaways, so hopefully you pick up some cool stuff. Always great vibes over there. Thank you guys for being here. And I'll be back later tonight, so I'll do a pretty lengthy or extended stream then. Once I kind of get the house situated and settled down. But for now, we're going to go ahead and send you guys over. I appreciate you guys very, very much for allowing me to do this. We will catch you guys around on the next one.